Chapter 61. Virtues and merits of the Prophet, peace be upon him, and his companions. Chapter 1. The statement of Allah Ta'ala. O mankind, we have created you from a male and female. Narrated Ibn Abbas. Regarding the verse, and we made you into Shu'ub and Qabail, 49:13. That Shu'ub means the big Qabail, nations, while the Qabail, tribes, means the branch tribes. Narrated Abu Huraira. Once Allah's messenger was asked, who is the most honorable amongst the people? He said, the most righteous, Allah-fearing amongst you. They said, we do not ask you about this. He said, then Joseph, the Prophet of Allah. Narrated Kulayb bin Wa'il. I asked Zainab bint Abi Salama, daughter of the wife of the Prophet, tell me about the Prophet. Did he belong to the tribe of Mudar? She replied, yes, he belonged to the tribe of Mudar, and was from the offspring of An-Nadr bin Kinana. Narrated Kulayb. I was told by the Rabiba, daughter of the wife of the Prophet, who I think was Zainab, that the Prophet forbade the utensils of wine called al-Dubba, al-Hantam, al-Makayyar, and al-Musafat. I said to her, tell me as to which tribe the Prophet belonged. Was he from the tribe of Mudar? She replied, he belonged to the tribe of Mudar, and was from the offspring of An-Nadr bin Kinana. Narrated Abu Huraira. Allah's messenger said, you see that the people are of different natures. Those who were the best in the pre-Islamic period are also the best in Islam if they comprehend religious knowledge. You see that the best amongst the people in this respect, ambition of ruling, are those who hate it most. And you see that the word among people is the double-faced person who appears to these with one face and to the others with another face, a hypocrite. Narrated Abu Huraira. The Prophet said, the tribe of Quraysh has precedence over the people in this connection, the right of ruling. The Muslims follow the Muslims amongst them, and the infidels follow the infidels amongst them. People are of different natures. The best amongst them in a pre-Islamic period are the best in Islam, provided they comprehend the religious knowledge. You will find that the best amongst the people in this respect, of ruling, is he who hates it, the idea of ruling, most till he is given the pledge of allegiance. Chapter 2. Virtues of Quraysh. Narrated Tawus. Ibn Abbas recited the Quranic verse, except to be kind to me for my kinship to you, 42:23. Sa'id bin Jubayr said, the verse implies the kinship of Muhammad ibn Abbas said, there was not a single house, sub-tribe of Quraysh, but had a kinship to the Prophet. And so the above verse was revealed in this connection, and its interpretation is, O Quraysh, you should keep good relation between me, Muhammad, and you. Narrated Abi Masud. The Prophet said, from this side, from the east, afflictions will appear. Rudeness and lack of mercy are characteristics of the rural Bedouins who are busy with their camels and cows and pay no attention to religion. Such are the tribes of Rabia and Mudar. Narrated Abu Huraira, I heard Allah's Messenger saying, pride and arrogance are characteristics of the rural Bedouins, while calmness is found among the owners of sheep. Belief is Yemenite and wisdom is also Yemenite. Yet the Yemenites are well known for their true belief and wisdom. Abu Abdullah al-Bukhari said, Yemen was called so because it is situated to the right of the Kaaba, and Sham was called so because it is situated to the left of the Kaaba. Narrated Muhammad bin Jubair bin Mut'im. That while he was with a delegation from Quraysh to Muawiyah, the latter heard the news that Abdullah bin Amr bin al-As said that there will be a king from the tribe of Qatan. On that, Muawiyah became angry, got up and then praised Allah as he deserved, and said, Now then, I have heard that some men amongst you narrate things which are neither in the Holy Book nor have been told by Allah's Messenger. Those men are the ignorant amongst you. Beware of such hopes as make the people go astray. For I heard Allah's Messenger saying, Authority of ruling will remain with Quraysh, and whoever bears hostility to them, Allah will destroy him as long as they abide by the laws of their religion. Narrated Ibn Umar. The Prophet said, Authority of ruling will remain with Quraysh, even if only 2 of them remained. Narrated Jubair bin Mut'im. Uthman bin Affan went to the Prophet and said, O Allah's Messenger, you gave property to Bani al-Muttalib and did not give us, although we and they are of the same degree of relationship to you. The Prophet said, Only Bani Hashim and Bani al-Muttalib are one thing as regards family status. Narrated Urwa bin As-Zubayr. Abdullah bin As-Zubayr went with some woman of the tribe of Bani Surah to Aisha, who used to treat them nicely because of their relation to Allah's Messenger. Narrated Abu Huraira. Allah's Messenger said, The tribe of Quraysh, the Ansar, the people of the tribe of Julhayna, Musaina, Aslam, Ashya, and Gifar are my disciples, and have no protectors except Allah and His Apostle. Narrated Urwa bin As-Zubayr. Abdullah bin As-Zubayr was the most beloved person to Aisha, excluding the Prophet, and Abu Bakr, and he in his turn was the most devoted to her. Aisha used not to withhold the money given to her by Allah, but she used to spend it in charity. Abdullah bin As-Zubayr said, Aisha should be stopped from doing so. When Aisha heard this, she said protestingly, Shall I be stopped from doing so? I vow that I will never talk to Abdullah bin As-Zubayr. On that, Ibn As-Zubayr asked some people from Quraysh, and particularly the 2 uncles of Allah's Messenger, to intercede with her. But she refused to talk to him. As-Suriyun, the uncles of the Prophet, including Abdur Rahman bin al-Aswad bin Abd Yaghut and Al-Miswar bin Makrama, said to him, When we ask for the permission to visit her, enter her house along with us without taking her leave. He did accordingly, and she accepted their intercession. He sent her 10 slaves, whom she manumitted as an expiation for not keeping her vow. Aisha manumitted more slaves for the same purpose, till she manumitted 40 slaves. She said, I wish I had specified what I would have done in case of not fulfilling my vow, when I made a vow, so that I might have done it easily. Chapter 3. The Quran was revealed in the language of Quraysh. Narrated Anas. Uthman called Zayd bin Thabit, Abdullah bin As-Zubayr, Sa'id bin Al-As, and Abdurrahman bin Al-Harith bin Hisham, and then they wrote the manuscripts of the Holy Quran in the form of book in several copies. Uthman said to the three Qurayshi persons, if you differ with Zayd bin Thabit or any point of the Quran, then write it in the language of Quraysh, as the Quran was revealed in their language. So they acted accordingly. Zayd bin Thabit was an Ansari and not from Quraysh. Chapter 4. The descent of Yemenites from Ishmael. Narrated Salama. Allah's messenger passed by some people from the tribe of Aslam practicing archery. He said, O children of Ishmael, throw Arabs, for your father was an archer. I am on the side of Bani, so and so, meaning one of the two teams. The other team stopped throwing, whereupon the Prophet said, what has happened to them? They replied, how shall we throw while you are with Bani, so and so? He said, throw, for I am with all of you. Chapter 5. Narrated Abu Dar. The Prophet said, if somebody claims to be the son of any other than his real father knowingly, he but disbelieves in Allah. And if somebody claims to belong to some folk to whom he does not belong, let such a person take his place in the hellfire. Narrated Watila bin al-Asqa. Allah's messenger said, verily, one of the worst lies is to claim falsely to be the son of someone other than one's real father, or to claim to have had a dream one has not had, or to attribute to me what I have not said. Narrated Ibn Abbas. The delegates of Abd ul-Qais came to Allah's messenger and said, O Allah's messenger, we are from the tribe of Rabi'a and the infidels of Mudar tribe. Stand between us and you, so that we cannot come to you except in the sacred months. Therefore, we should like you to give us some instructions which we may follow and convey to our people staying behind us. The Prophet said, I order you to observe 4 things and forbid you to do 4 things. I order you to believe in Allah, testifying that none has the right to be worshipped except Allah, to offer the prayer perfectly, to pay the zakat, and to give 1/5 of the war booty to Allah. And I forbid you to use al-dubba, al-hamtam, al-nakir, and al-musafat. These are names of utensils in which alcoholic drinks were served. Narrated Abdullah bin Umar. I heard Allah's messenger on the pulpit saying, verily, afflictions will start from here, pointing towards the east, whence the side of the head of Satan comes out. Chapter 6. The mention of the tribes of Aslam, Gifar, Musaina, Juhayna, and Ashja. Narrated Abu Hurairah. The Prophet said, the tribes of Quraysh, Al-Ansar, Juhayna, Musaina, Aslam, Gifar, and Ashja are my helpers, and they have no protector, yea master, except Allah and His Apostle. Narrated Abdullah bin Umar. While Allah's Messenger was on the pulpit, he said, "May Allah forgive the tribe of Gifar, and may Allah save the tribe of Aslam. The tribe of Isaiah have disobeyed Allah and His Apostle." Narrated Abu Huraira. The Prophet said, "May Allah save the tribe of Aslam, and may Allah forgive the tribe of Gifar." Narrated Abu Bakr. The Prophet said, "Do you think that the tribes of Juhayna, Musaina, Aslam, and Gifar are better than the tribes of Bani Tamim, Bani Asad, Bani Abdullah bin Ghatafan, and Bani Amir bin Sasa?" A man said, "They were unsuccessful and losers." The Prophet added, "Yes, they are better than the tribes of Bani Tamim, Bani Asad, Bani Abdullah bin Ghatafan, and Bani Amir bin Sasa." Narrated Abu Bakr. Al-Aqra bin Habis said to the Prophet, "Nobody gave you the pledge of allegiance but the robbers of the pilgrims, yet those who used to rob the pilgrims from the tribes of Aslam, Gifar, Musaina, Ibn Abi Yaqub is in doubt whether Al-Aqra added, and Juhayna." The Prophet said, "Don't you think that the tribes of Aslam, Gifar, Musaina, and also perhaps Juhayna are better than the tribes of Bani Tamim? Bani Amir, Asad, and Ghatafan," somebody said, "they were unsuccessful and losers." The Prophet said, "Yes, by him in whose hands my life is, they, the former, are better than they, the latter." Chapter 7. The mention of the Qattan tribe. Narrated Abu Huraira. The Prophet said, "The hour will not be established unless a man from the tribe of Qattan appears, driving the people with his stick, ruling them with violence and oppression." Chapter 8. What is forbidden of the Dawah of the period of the ignorance. Narrated Jabir. We were in the company of the Prophet. In Ghazwa, a large number of emigrants joined him, and among the emigrants there was a person who used to play jokes or play with spears. So he jokingly stroked an Ansari man on the hip. The Ansari got so angry that both of them called their people. The Ansari said, "Help, O Ansar," and the emigrants said, "Help, O emigrants." The Prophet came out and said, "What is wrong with the people, as they are calling this call of the period of ignorance?" Then he said, "What is the matter with them?" So he was told about the stroke of the emigrant to the Ansari. The Prophet said, "Stop this." He appealed for help, for it is an evil call. Abdullah bin Ubay bin Salul, a hypocrite, said, "The emigrants have called and gathered against us, so when we return to Medina, surely the more honorable people will expel therefrom the meaner." Upon that, Umar said, "O Allah's Prophet, shall we not kill this evil person, Abdullah bin Ubay bin Salul?" The Prophet said, "No, lest the people should say that Muhammad used to kill his companions." Narrated Abdullah bin Masud. The Prophet said, "Whoever slaps his face or tears the bosom of his dress or calls the cause of the period of ignorance is not from us." Chapter 9. The story of Kusa. Narrated Abu Huraira. Allah's Messenger said, "Amr bin Luhay bin Kama bin Kindif was the father of Kusa." Narrated Sa'id bin al-Musayyab. Al-Bahira was an animal whose milk was spared for the idols and other deities, and so nobody was allowed to milk it. As-Saiba was an animal which the infidels used to set free in the names of their gods so that it would not be used for carrying anything. Abu Hurairah said, "The Prophet said, I saw Amr bin Luhay al-Qusay dragging his intestines in the hellfire, for he was the first man who started the custom of releasing animals for the sake of false gods." Chapter 10. The story of the conversion of Abu Dar al-Ghifara. Chapter 11. The story of Samsam. Narrated Abu Jamra. Ibn Abbas said to us, "Shall I tell you the story of Abu Dar's conversion to Islam?" We said, "Yes." He said, Abu Dar said, "I was a man from the tribe of Ghifar. We heard that a man had appeared in Mecca, claiming to be a prophet. I said to my brother, 'Go to that man and talk to him and bring me his news.' He set out, met him and returned. I asked him, 'What is the news with you?' He said, 'By Allah, I saw a man enjoining what is good and forbidding what is evil.' I said to him, 'You have not satisfied me with this little information.' So I took a water skin and a stick and proceeded towards Mecca. Neither did I know him, the Prophet, nor did I like to ask anyone about him. I kept on drinking Zamzam water and staying in the mosque. Then Ali passed by me and said, 'It seems you are a stranger.' I said yes. He proceeded to his house, and I accompanied him. Neither did he ask me anything, nor did I tell him anything. Next morning I went to the mosque to ask about the Prophet, but no one told me anything about him. Ali passed by me again and asked, 'Hasn't the man recognized his dwelling place yet?' I said, 'No.' He said, 'Come along with me.' He asked me, 'What is your business? What has brought you to this town?' I said to him, 'If you keep my secret, I will tell you.' He said, 'I will do.' I said to him, 'We have heard that a person has appeared here, claiming to be a prophet. I sent my brother to speak to him, and when he returned, he did not bring a satisfactory report, so I thought of meeting him personally.' Ali said to Abu Dar, 'You have reached your goal. I am going to him just now, so follow me, and wherever I enter after me. If I should see someone who may cause you trouble, I will stand near a wall pretending to mend my shoes as a warning, and you should go away then.' Ali proceeded, and I accompanied him till he entered a place. And I entered with him to the Prophet, to whom I said, 'Present the principles of Islam to me.' When he did, I embraced Islam. Immediately he said to me, 'O Abu Dar, keep your conversion as a secret and return to your town. And when you hear of our victory, return to us.' I said, 'By him who has sent you with the truth, I will announce my conversion to Islam publicly amongst them, the infidels.' Abu Dar went to the mosque, where some people from Quraysh were present, and said, 'O folk of Quraysh, I testify that none has the right to be worshipped except Allah. And I also testify that Muhammad is Allah's slave and his apostle.' Hearing that, the Qurayshi men said, 'Get at this Sabi, a Muslim.' They got up and beat me nearly to death. Allah saw me and threw himself over me to protect me. He then faced them and said, 'Woe to you, you want to kill a man from the tribe of Ghifar, although your trade and your communications are through the territory of Ghifar.' They therefore left me. The next morning I returned to the mosque and said the same as I have said on the previous day. They again said, 'Get at this Sabi.' I was treated in the same way as on the previous day, and again Allah found me and threw himself over me to protect me, and told them the same as he had said the day before. So that was the conversion of Abu Dar, may Allah be merciful to him, to Islam. Narrated Abu Hurairah. The Prophet said, the people of Aslam, Gifar, and some people of Musaina and Juhayna, or said, some people of Juhayna or Musaina are better with Allah, or said, on the day of resurrection, than the tribe of Asad, Tamim, Habasin, and Ghatafan. Chapter 12. The story of Samsam and the ignorance of the Arabs. Narrated Ibn Abbas. If you wish to know about the ignorance of the Arabs, refer to Surat Al-An'am after verse number 130. Indeed, lost are those who have killed the children from folly without knowledge, and have forbidden that which Allah has provided for them, inventing a lie against Allah. They have indeed gone astray, and were not guided. 6:14. Chapter 13. Whoever related kinship to his forefathers. Narrated Ibn Abbas. When the verse, and warn your tribes of nearest kindred, 26:214, was revealed, the Prophet started calling the Arab tribes, O Bani Fir, O Bani Adi, mentioning first the various branch tribes of Quraysh. Narrated Ibn Abbas. When the verse, and warn your tribes, tribe of near kindred, 26:214, was revealed, the Prophet started calling every tribe by its name. Narrated Abu Hurairah. The Prophet said, O Bani Abd Munaf, buy yourself from Allah. O Bani Abdul Muttalib, buy yourself from Allah. O mother of As-Zubair bin al-Awam, the aunt of Allah's messenger. And O Fatima bint Muhammad, buy yourself from Allah, for I cannot defend you before Allah. You both can ask me for my property as much as you like. Chapter 14. The son of some people's sister is considered as belonging to the same people. Narrated Anas. The Prophet sent for the Ansar, and when they came, he asked, Is there any stranger amongst you? They said, No, except the son of our sister. Allah's messenger said, The son of the sister of some people belongs to them. Chapter 15. The story of the Ethiopians. Narrated Aisha. That during the Mina days, Abu Bakr came to her, while there were two girls with her beating drums, and the Prophet was lying covering himself with his garment. Abu Bakr rebuked the two girls, but the Prophet uncovered his face and said, O Abu Bakr, leave them, for these are the days of Eid festival. Those days were the days of Mina. Aisha added, I was being screened by the Prophet while I was watching the Ethiopians playing in the mosque. Umar rebuked them, but the Prophet said, Leave them, O Bani Arfida, play, for you are safe. Chapter 16. Whoever liked that his ancestors should not be abused. Narrated Aisha. Once Hassan bin Thabit asked the permission of the Prophet to lampoon yea compose satirical poetry defaming the infidels. The Prophet said, What about the fact that I have common descent with them? Hassan replied, I shall take you out of them, as the hair is taken out of the dough. Narrated Urwa. I started abusing Hassan in front of Aisha, whereupon she said, Don't abuse him, for he used to defend the Prophet with his poetry. Chapter 17. The names of Allah's Messenger Sauce. Narrated Jubair bin Mut'im. Allah's Messenger said, I have 5 names. I am Muhammad and Ahmad. I am Al-Mahi, through whom Allah will eliminate infidelity. I am Al-Ashir, who will be the first to be resurrected, the people being resurrected thereafter, and I am also Al-Aqib. There will be no prophet after me. Narrated Abu Huraira. Allah's Messenger said, "Doesn't it astonish you how Allah protects me from the Qurayshes abusing and cursing? They abuse Mudhammam and curse Mudhammam, while I am Muhammad and not Mudhammam." Chapter 18. The last of all the prophets, Muhammad source. Narrated Jabir bin Abdullah. The Prophet said, my similitude in comparison with the other prophets is that of a man who has built a house completely and excellently, except for a place of one brick. When the people enter the house, they admire its beauty and say, "But for the place of this brick, how splendid the house will be." Narrated Abu Huraira. Allah's Messenger said, my similitude in comparison with the other prophets before me is that of a man who has built a house nicely and beautifully, except for a place of one brick. In a corner, the people go about it and wonder at its beauty, but say, "Would that this brick be put in its place." So I am that brick, and I am the last of the prophets. Chapter 19. The death of the Prophet Source. Narrated Aisha. The Prophet died when he was 63 years old. Chapter 20. The kunya of the Prophet Source. Narrated Anas. While the Prophet was in the market, a man called somebody, "O Abu il-Qasim." The Prophet turned to him and said, "Name yourselves after me, but do not call yourself by my kunya." Narrated Jabir. The Prophet said, "Name yourselves after me, but do not call yourself by my kunya." Narrated Abu Huraira. Abu al-Qasim said, "Name yourselves after me, but do not call yourselves by my kunya." Chapter 21. Chapter. Narrated Al-Juad bin Abdur Rahman. I saw As-Sa'ib bin Yazid when he was 94 years old, quite strong and of straight figure. He said, "I know that I enjoyed my hearing and seeing powers only because of the invocation of Allah's Apostle. My aunt took me to him and said, 'O Allah's Messenger, my nephew is sick. Will you invoke Allah for him?' So he invoked Allah for me." Chapter 22. The Seal of Prophethood. Narrated As-Skab bin Yazid. My aunt took me to Allah's Messenger and said, "O Allah's Messenger, my nephew is sick." The Prophet passed his hands over my head and blessed me. Then he performed ablution, and I drank the remaining water, and standing behind him, I saw the seal in between his shoulders. Chapter 23. The description of the Prophet Source. Narrated Uqba bin al-Harith. Once Abu Bakr offered the Asr prayer, and then went out walking and saw Al-Hassan playing with the boys. He lifted him onto his shoulders and said, "Let my parents be sacrificed for your sake. You resemble the Prophet and not Ali," while Ali was smiling. Narrated Abu Juhayfa. I saw the Prophet and Al-Hassan resembled him. Narrated Ismail bin Abi Khalid. I heard Abi Juhayfa saying, "I saw the Prophet and Al-Hassan bin Ali resemble him." I said to Abu Juhayfa, "Describe him for me." He said, "He was white and his beard was black, with some white hair. He promised to give us 13 young she-camels, but he expired before we could get them." Narrated Wab Abu Juhayfa as-Sawai. I saw the Prophet and some white hair below his lower lip above the chin. Narrated Haris bin Uthman that he asked Abdullah bin Busr, he had a companion of the Prophet, "Did you see the Prophet when he was old?" He said, "He had a few white hairs between the lower lip and the chin." Narrated Rabia bin Abi Abdur Rahman. I heard Anas bin Malik describing the Prophet, saying, "He was a medium height amongst the people, neither tall nor short. He had a rosy color, neither absolutely white nor deep brown. His hair was neither completely curly nor quite lank. Divine inspiration was revealed to him when he was 40 years old. He stayed 10 years in Mecca, receiving the divine inspiration, and stayed in Medina for 10 more years. When he expired, he had scarcely 20 white hairs in his head and beard." Rabia said, "I saw some of his hairs, and it was red. When I asked about that, I was told that it turned red because of scent." Narrated Anas. Allah's messenger was neither very tall nor short, neither absolutely white nor deep brown. His hair was neither curly nor lank. Allah sent him as an apostle when he was 40 years old. Afterwards he resided in Mecca for 10 years, and in Medina for 10 more years. When Allah took him unto him, there was scarcely 20 white hairs in his head and beard. Narrated Al-Bara. Allah's messenger was the handsomest of all the people, and had the best appearance. He was neither very tall nor short. Narrated Qatada. I asked Anas, "Did the Prophet used to dye his hair?" He said, "No, for there were only a few white hairs on his temples." Narrated Al-Bara. The Prophet was of moderate height, having broad shoulders, long hair reaching his earlobes. Once I saw him in a red cloak, and I had never seen a more handsome than him. Narrated Abu Ishaq. Al-Bara was asked, "Was the face of the Prophet as bright as a sword?" He said, "No, but as bright as a moon." Narrated Abu Juhayfa. Once Allah's messenger went to Al-Bata at noon, performed the ablution, and offered a 2 rakat sur prayer and a 2 rakat asr prayer, while a spear-headed stick was planted before him, and the passers-by were passing in front of it. After prayer, the people got up and held the hands of the Prophet and passed them on their faces. I also took his hand and kept it on my face, and noticed that it was colder than ice, and its smell was nicer than musk. Narrated Ibn Abbas. The Prophet was the most generous of all the people, and he used to become more generous in Ramadan when Gabriel met him. Gabriel used to meet him every night during Ramadan to revise the Quran with him. Allah's messenger then used to be more generous than the fast wind. Narrated Aisha that Allah's messenger came to her in a happy mood with his features glittering with joy, and said, "Have you not heard what the Caliph has said about Zayd and Usama? He saw their feet and remarked, 'These belong to each other, yet they are father and son.'" Narrated Abdullah bin Ka'b. I heard Ka'b bin Malik talking after his failure to join the Ghazwa of Tabuk. He said, "When I greeted Allah's messenger, whose face was glittering with happiness, for whenever Allah's messenger was happy, his face used to glitter, as if it was a piece of the moon, and we used to recognize it, his happiness, from his face." Narrated Abu Huraira. Allah's messenger said, "I have been sent as an apostle in the best of all the generations of Adam's offspring, since their creation." Narrated Ibn Abbas. Allah's messenger used to let his hair hang down, while the infidels used to part their hair. The people of the scriptures were used to letting their hair hang down, and Allah's messenger liked to follow the people of the scriptures in the matters about which he was not instructed otherwise. Then Allah's messenger parted his hair. Narrated Abdullah bin Amr. The Prophet never used bad language, neither a fahis nor a mutafahis. He used to say, "The best amongst you are those who have the best manners and character." See Hadith number 56b, volume 8. Narrated Aisha. Whenever Allah's messenger was given the choice of one of two matters, he would choose the easier of the two, as long as it was not sinful to do so. But if it was sinful to do so, he would not approach it. Allah's messenger never took revenge over anybody for his own sake, but it did only when Allah's legal bindings were outraged, in which case he would take revenge for Allah's sake. Narrated Anas. I have never touched silk or dibaj, thick silk, softer than the palm of the Prophet, nor have I smelt a perfume nicer than the sweat of the Prophet. Narrated Abu Sa'id al-Khudri. The Prophet was sheer than a veiled virgin girl. Shire. Narrated Shuba. A similar hadith, number 762, with this addition: and if he, the Prophet, disliked something, the sign of aversion would appear on his face. Narrated Abu Huraira. The Prophet never criticized any food presented him, but he would eat it if he liked it, otherwise he would leave it without expressing his dislike. Narrated Abdullah bin Malik bin Buhayna al-Asti. When the Prophet prostrated, he used to keep his arms so widely apart that we used to see his armpits. The sub-narrator Ibn Bukhari said, "the whiteness of his armpits." Narrated Anas. Allah's messenger did not use to raise his hands in his invocations, except in the istisqa, invoking Allah for the rain, in which he used to raise his hands so high that one could see the whiteness of his armpits. Note, it may be that Anas did not see the Prophet as raising his hands, but it has been narrated that the Prophet used to raise his hands for invocations other than istisqa. See Hadith number 612, volume 5, and Hadith number 807 and 808, volume 2. Narrated Abu Juhayfa. By chance I went to the Prophet at noon while he was at Al-Abda, resting in a tent. Bilal came out of the tent and pronounced the Adhan for the prayer, and entering again, he brought out the water which was left after Allah's messenger had performed the ablution. The people rushed to take some of the water. Bilal again went in and brought out the spear-headed stick, and then Allah's messenger came out, as if I were now looking at the whiteness of his leg. Bilal fixed the stick, and the Prophet offered a 2 rakat sur prayer and a 2 rakat asr prayer. while women and donkeys were passing in front of the Prophet beyond the stick. Narrated Aisha, the Prophet used to talk so clearly that if somebody wanted to count the number of his words, he could do so. Narrated Urwa bin As-Zubayr, Aisha said to me, "Don't you wonder at Abu so-and-so who came and sat by my dwelling and started relating the traditions of Allah's Messenger, intending to let me hear that while I was performing an optional prayer. He left before I finished my optional prayer. Had I found him still there, I would have said to him, Allah's Messenger never talked so quickly and vaguely as you do." Chapter 24. The eyes of the Prophet used to sleep, but his heart used not to sleep. Narrated Abu Salama bin Abdur Rahman, that he asked Aisha how was the prayer of Allah's Messenger in the month of Ramadan. She replied, "He used not to pray more than 11 rakat, whether in Ramadan or in any other month. He used to offer 4 rakat, let alone their beauty and length, and then 4 rakat, let alone their beauty and length. Afterwards he would offer 3 rakat. I said, O Allah's Messenger, do you go to bed before offering the witr prayer?" He said, "My eyes sleep, but my heart does not sleep." Narrated Sharik bin Abdullah bin Abi Namir, I heard Anas bin Malik telling us about the night when the Prophet was made to travel from the Kaaba mosque. 3 persons, ye angels, came to the Prophet before he was divinely inspired, was an apostle, while he was sleeping in Al-Majid Ul-Haram. The first of the 3 angels said, "Which of them is he?" The second said, "He is the best of them." That was all that happened then, and he did not see them till they came at another night, and he perceived their presence with his heart, for the eyes of the Prophet were closed when he was asleep. But his heart was not asleep, not unconscious. This is characteristic of all the prophets. Their eyes sleep, but their hearts do not sleep. Then Gabriel took charge of the Prophet and ascended along with him to the heaven. Chapter 25. The signs of prophethood in Islam. Narrated Imran bin Hussein, that they were with the Prophet on a journey. They traveled the whole night, and when dawn approached, they took a rest, and sleep overwhelmed them till the sun rose high in the sky. The first to get up was Abu Bakr. Allah's Messenger used not to be awakened from his sleep, but he would wake up by himself. Umar woke up, and then Abu Bakr sat by the side of the Prophet's head and started saying, Allahu Akbar, raising his voice, till the Prophet woke up, and after traveling for a while, he dismounted and led us in the morning prayer. A man amongst the people failed to join us in the prayer. When the Prophet had finished the prayer, he asked the man, "O so and so, what prevented you from offering the prayer with us?" He replied, "I am Junub." Allah's apostle ordered him to perform tayammum with clean earth. The man then offered a prayer. Allah's Messenger ordered me and a few others to go ahead of him. We had become very thirsty. While we were on our way looking for water, we came across a lady riding an animal, hanging her legs between 2 water skins. We asked her, "Where can we get water?" She replied, "Oh, there is no water." We asked, "How far is your house from the water?" She replied, "A distance of a day and a night travel." We said, "Come on to Allah's Messenger." She asked, "What is Allah's Messenger?" So he brought her to Allah's Messenger against her will, and she told him what she had told us before, and added that she was the mother of orphans. So the prophet ordered that her 2 water skins be brought, and he rubbed the mouths of the water skins. As we were thirsty, we drank till we quenched our thirst, and we were 40 men. We also filled all our water skins and other utensils with water, but we did not water the camels. The water skin was so full that it was almost about to burst. The prophet then said, "Bring what foodstuff you have." So some dates and pieces of bread were collected for the lady. And when she went to her people, she said, "I have met either the greatest magician or a prophet, as the people claim." So Allah guided the people of that village through that lady. She embraced Islam, and they all embraced Islam. Narrated Anas. A bowl of water was brought to the Prophet while he was at As-Savra. He placed his hand in it, and the water started flowing among his fingers. All the people performed ablution with that water. Qatada asked Anas, "How many people were you?" Anas replied, 300, or nearly 300. Narrated Anas bin Malik. I saw Allah's messenger at the time when the Asr prayer was due. Then the people were searching for water for ablution, but they could not find any. Then some water was brought to Allah's messenger, and he placed his hand in the pot and ordered the people to perform the ablution with the water. I saw water flowing from underneath his fingers, and the people started performing the ablution till all of them did it. Narrated Anas bin Malik. The Prophet went out on one of his journeys with some of his companions. They went on walking till the time of the prayer became due. They could not find water to perform the ablution. One of them went away and brought a little amount of water in a pot. The Prophet took it and performed the ablution, and then stretched his 4 fingers onto the pot and said to the people, "Get up to perform the ablution." They started performing the ablution till all of them did it, and they were 70 or so persons. Narrated Humayd. Anas bin Malik said, "Once the time of the prayer became due, and the people whose houses were close to the mosque went to their houses to perform ablution, while the others remained sitting there. A stone pot containing water was brought to the Prophet, who wanted to put his hand in it, but it was too small for him to spread his hand in it, and so he had to bring his fingers together before putting his hand in the pot. Then all the people performed the ablution with that water. I asked Anas, "How many persons were they?" He replied, "There were 80 men." Narrated Salim bin Abi Ajjad. Jabir bin Abdullah said, "The people became very thirsty on the day of Al-Hudaybiyah treaty. A small pot containing some water was in front of the Prophet, and when he had finished the ablution, the people rushed towards him. He asked, "What is wrong with you?" They replied, "We have no water either for performing ablution or for drinking except what is present in front of you." So he placed his hand in that pot, and the water started flowing among his fingers like springs. We all drank and performed ablution from it. I asked Jabir, "How many were you?" He replied, "Even if we had been 100,000, it would have been sufficient for us, but we were 1,500. Narrated Al-Bara. We were 1,400 persons on the day of Al-Hudaybiyah treaty, and at Al-Hudaybiyah there was a well. We drew out its water, not leaving even a single drop. The Prophet sat at the edge of the well and asked for some water with which he rinsed his mouth, and then he threw it out into the well. We stayed for a short while and then drew water from the well and quenched our thirst, and even our riding animals drank water to their satisfaction. Narrated Anas bin Malik. Abu Talha said to Sulaym, I have noticed feebleness in the voice of Allah's Messenger, which I think is caused by hunger. Have you got any food? She said, yes. She brought out some loaves of barley and took out a veil belonging to her and wrapped the bread in part of it and put it under my arm and wrapped part of the veil round me and sent me to Allah's Messenger. I went carrying it and found Allah's Messenger in the mosque sitting with some people. When I stood there, Allah's Messenger asked, has Abu Talha sent you? I said yes. He asked, with some food? I said yes. Allah's Apostle then said to the man around him, get up. He set out accompanied by them, and I went ahead of them till I reached Abu Talha and told him of the Prophet's visit. Abu Talha said, O Sulaym, Allah's Messenger is coming with the people and we have no food to feed them. She said, Allah and His Apostle know better. So Abu Talha went out to receive Allah's Messenger. Allah's Apostle came along with Abu Talha. Allah's Messenger said, O Sulaym, bring whatever you have. She brought the bread which Allah's Messenger ordered to be broken into pieces. Sulaym poured on them some butter from an oilskin. Then Allah's Messenger recited what Allah wished him to recite, and then said, let 10 persons come to share the meal. 10 persons were admitted, ate their fill, and went out. Then he again said, let another 10 do the same. They were admitted, ate their fill, and went out. Then he again said, let another 10 persons do the same. They were admitted, ate their fill, and went out. Then he said, let another 10 persons come. In short, all of them ate their fill, and they were 70 or 80 men. Narrated Abdullah. We used to consider miracles as Allah's blessings, but you people consider them to be a warning. Once we were with Allah's Messenger on a journey, and we ran short of water. He said, bring the water remaining with you. The people brought a utensil containing a little water. He placed his hand in it and said, come to the blessed water, and the blessing is from Allah. I saw the water flowing from among the fingers of Allah's Messenger, and no doubt we heard the meal glorifying Allah when it was being eaten by him. Narrated Jabir. My father had died in debt, so I came to the Prophet and said, my father died leaving unpaid debts, and I have nothing except the yield of his date palms, and their yield for many years will not cover his debts. So please come with me, so that the creditors may not misbehave with me. The Prophet went round one of the heaps of dates and invoked Allah, and then did the same with another heap and sat on it and said, measure for them. He paid them their rights, and what remained was as much as had been paid to them. Narrated Abdurrahman bin Abi Bakr. The companions of Sufa were poor people. The people once said, whoever has food enough for 2 persons should take a third one from among them, and whoever has food enough for 4 persons should take a 5th or a 6th, or said something similar. Abu Bakr brought 3 persons, while the Prophet took 10, and Abu Bakr with his 3 family members. Who were I, my father and my mother? The sub-narrator is in doubt whether Abdurrahman said, my wife and my servant, who was common for both my house and Abu Bakr's house. Abu Bakr took his supper with the Prophet and stayed there till he offered the Isha prayers. He returned and stayed till Allah's Messenger took his supper. After a part of the night had passed, he returned to his house. His wife said to him, "What has detained you from your guests?" He said, "Have you served supper to them?" She said, "They refused to take supper until you come. They as some members of the household presented the meal to them, but they refused to eat. I went to hide myself, and he said, 'O Guntar,' he invoked Allah to cause my ears to be cut, and he rebuked me. He then said to them, 'Please eat,' and added, 'I will never eat the meal. By Allah, whenever we took a handful of the meal grew from underneath more than that handful till everybody ate to his satisfaction. Yet the remaining food was more than the original meal. Abu Bakr saw that the food was as much or more than the original amount. He called his wife, 'O sister of Bani Firas.' She said, 'O pleasure of my eyes, the food has been tripled in quantity.' Abu Bakr then started eating thereof, and said, 'It ye my oath not to eat was because of Sa'al al-Ol.' He took a handful from it, and carried the rest to the Prophet, so that food was with the Prophet. There was a treaty between us and some people, and when the period of that treaty had elapsed, he divided us into 12 groups, each being headed by a man. Allah knows how many men were under the command of each leader. Anyhow, the Prophet surely sent a leader with each group. Then all of them ate of that meal." Narrated Anas. Once during the lifetime of Allah's Messenger, the people of Medina suffered from drought. So while the Prophet was delivering a sermon on a Friday, a man got up saying, "O Allah's Messenger, the horses and sheep have perished. Will you invoke Allah to bless us with rain?" The Prophet lifted both his hands and invoked. The sky at that time was as clear as glass. Suddenly a wind blew, raising clouds that gathered together, and it started raining heavily. We came out of the mosque wading through the flowing water till we reached our homes. It went on raining till the next Friday, when the same man or some other man stood up and said, "O Allah's Messenger, the houses have collapsed. Please invoke Allah to withhold the rain." On that, the Prophet smiled and said, "O Allah, let it rain around us and not on us." I then looked at the clouds to see them separating, forming a sort of a crown around Medina. Narrated Ibn Umar. The Prophet used to deliver his sermons while standing beside a trunk of a date palm. When he had the pulpit made, he used it instead. The trunk started crying, and the Prophet went to it, rubbing his hand over it to stop its crying. Narrated Jabir bin Abdullah. The Prophet used to stand by a tree or a date palm on Friday. Then an Ansari woman or man said, "O Allah's Messenger, shall we make a pulpit for you?" He replied, "If you wish." So they made a pulpit for him, and when it was Friday, he proceeded towards the pulpit for delivering the sermon. The date palm cried like a child. The Prophet descended the pulpit and embraced it while it continued moaning like a child, being quietened. The Prophet said, "It was crying for missing what it used to hear of religious knowledge given near to it." Narrated Anas bin Malik that he heard Jabir bin Abdullah saying, "The roof of the mosque was built over trunks of date palms, working as pillars. When the Prophet delivered a sermon, he used to stand by one of those trunks till the pulpit was made for him, and he used it instead. Then we heard the trunk sending a sound like of a pregnant she-camel till the prophet came to it and put his hand over it. Then it became quiet. Narrated Hudayfa. Once Umar bin al-Khattab said, "Who amongst you remembers the statement of Allah's apostle regarding the afflictions?" Hudayfa replied, "I remember what he said exactly." Umar said, "Tell us, you are really a daring man." Hudayfa said, "Allah's messenger said, a man's afflictions, yet wrong deeds concerning his relation to his family, his property and his neighbors are expiated by his prayers, giving in charity, and enjoining what is good and forbidding what is evil." Umar said, I don't mean these afflictions, but the afflictions that will be heaving up and down like waves of the sea." Hudayfa replied, "O chief of the believers, you need not fear those afflictions, as there is a closed door between you and them." Umar asked, "Will that door be opened or broken?" Hudayfa replied, "No, it will be broken." Umar said, "Then it is very likely that the door will not be closed again." Later on, the people asked Hudayfa, "Did Umar know what that door meant?" He said, "Yes, Umar knew it, as everyone knows that there will be night before the tomorrow morning." I narrated to Umar an authentic narration, not lies. We dared not ask Hudayfa, therefore we requested Masruq, who asked him, "What does the door stand for?" He said, "Umar." Narrated Abu Huraira. The Prophet said, "The hour will not be established till you fight a nation wearing hairy shoes, and till you fight the Turks, who will have small eyes, red faces and flat noses, and their faces will be like flat shields. And you will find that the best people are those who hate responsibility of ruling most of all till they are chosen to be the rulers. And the people are of different natures. The best in the pre-Islamic period are the best in Islam. A time will come when any of you will love to see me rather than to have his family and property doubled." Narrated Abu Huraira. The Prophet said, "The hour will not be established till you fight with the Kud and the Kirman from among the non-Arabs. They will be of red faces, flat noses and small eyes. Their faces will look like flat shields, and their shoes will be of hair." Narrated Abu Huraira. I enjoyed the company of Allah's Messenger for 3 years, and during the other years of my life, never was I so anxious to understand the Prophet's traditions as I was during those 3 years. I heard him saying, beckoning with his hand in this way, "Before the hour you will fight with people who will have hairy shoes and live in Al-Basir." Sufyan, the sub-narrator, once said, "And they are the people of Al-Basir." Narrated Umar bin Taghlib. I heard Allah's Messenger saying, "Near the hour you will fight with people who will wear hairy shoes, and you will also fight people with flat faces like shields." Narrated Abdullah bin Umar. I heard Allah's Messenger saying, "The Jews will fight with you, and you will be given victory over them, so that a stone will say, 'O Muslim, there is a Jew behind me, kill him.'" Narrated Abu Sa'id al-Khudri. The Prophet said, "A time will come when the people will wage holy war, and it will be asked, 'Is there any amongst you who has enjoyed the company of Allah's Messenger?' They will say, 'Yes,' and then victory will be bestowed upon them. They will wage holy war again, and it will be asked, 'Is there any among you who has enjoyed the company of the companions of Allah's Messenger?' They will say, 'Yes,' and then victory will be bestowed on them." Narrated Adi bin Hatim. While I was in the city of the Prophet, a man came and complained to him, the prophet, of destitution and poverty. Then another man came and complained of robbery by a highwayman. The prophet said, Adi, have you been to Al-Hira? I said, I haven't been to it, but I was informed about it. He said, if you should live for a long time, you will certainly see that a lady in a hawda traveling from Al-Hira will safely reach Mecca and perform the tawaf of the Kaaba, fearing none but Allah. I said to myself, what will happen to the robbers of the tribe of Tai, who have spread evil throughout the country? The Prophet further said, if you should live long, the treasures of Khosrav will be opened and taken as spoils. I asked, you mean Khosrav, son of Hurmuz? He said, Khosrav, son of Hurmuz. And if you should live long, you will see that one will carry a handful of gold or silver and go out looking for a person to accept it from him, but will find none to accept it from him. And any of you, when meeting Allah, will meet him without needing any interpreter between him and Allah to interpret for him. And Allah will say to him, didn't I send a messenger to teach you? He will say, yes. Allah will say, didn't I give you wealth and do you favors? He will say, yes. Then he will look to his right and see nothing but hell, and look to his left and see nothing but hell. Adi further said, I heard a prophet saying, save yourself from the hellfire, even with half a date, to be given in charity, and if you do not find a half date, then with a good pleasant word. Adi added, later on I saw a lady in a hawda traveling from Al-Hira till she performed the tawaf of the Kaaba, fearing none but Allah, and I was one of those who conquered the treasures of Khosrav, son of Hurmuz. If you should live long, you will see what the Prophet Abu al-Qasim had said, a person will come out with a handful of gold, etc. Narrated Adi, as above, Hadith number 793. Narrated Uqba bin Amr. The Prophet once came out and offered a funeral prayer for the martyrs of Uhud, and proceeded to the pulpit and said, I shall be your predecessor and a witness on you, and I am really looking at my sacred font now. And no doubt, I have been given the keys of the treasures of the world. By Allah, I am not afraid that you will worship others along with Allah, but I am afraid that you will envy and fight one another for worldly fortunes. Narrated Usama. Once the Prophet stood on one of the high buildings of Medina and said, do you see what I see? I see affliction pouring among your hours like raindrops. Narrated Zainab bint Yash, that the Prophet came to her in a state of fear, saying, none has the right to be worshipped but Allah. Woe to the Arabs because of evil that has come near. Today a hole has been made in the wall of Gog and Magog, as large as this, pointing with two of his fingers, making a circle. Zainab said, I said, O Allah's Messenger, shall we be destroyed, though amongst us there are pious people? He said, yes, if evil increases. Salama. The Prophet woke up and said, glorified be Allah. What great how many treasures have been sent down, and what great how many afflictions have been sent down. Narrated Sasa. Abu Sa'id al-Khudri said to me, I noticed that you like sheep and you keep them. So take care of them and their food, for I have heard Allah's Messenger saying, a time will come upon the people when the best of a Muslim's property will be sheep, which he will take to the tops of mountains and to the places of rainfalls, to run away with his religion in order to save it from afflictions. Narrated Abu Huraira. Allah's Messenger said, "There will be afflictions, and at that time the sitting person will be better than the standing one, and the standing one will be better than the walking, and the walking will be better than the running. And whoever will look towards those afflictions, they will overtake him. And whoever will find a refugee or a shelter should take refuge in it." The same narration is reported by Abu Bakr, with the addition, "The Prophet said, among the prayers there is a prayer, the missing of which will be to one like losing one's family and property." Narrated Ibn Masud. The Prophet said, "Soon others will be preferred to you, and there will be things which you will not like." The companions of the Prophet asked, "O Allah's Messenger, what do you order us to do in this case?" He said, "I order you to give the rights that are on you, and to ask your rights from Allah." Narrated Abu Huraira. Allah's Messenger said, "This branch from Quraysh will ruin the people." The companions of the Prophet asked, "What do you order us to do then?" He said, "I would suggest that the people keep away from them." Narrated Sa'id al-Umawi. I was with Marwan and Abu Huraira and heard Abu Huraira saying, I heard a trustworthy, truly inspired one, the Prophet saying, "The destruction of my followers will be brought about by the hands of some youngsters from Quraysh." Marwan asked youngsters. Abu Huraira said, "If you wish, I will name them. They are the children of so-and-so, and the children of so-and-so." Narrated Hudayfa bin al-Yaman. The people used to ask Allah's Messenger about good, but I used to ask him about evil for fear that it might overtake me. Once I said, "O Allah's Messenger, we were in ignorance and in evil, and Allah has bestowed upon us the present good. Will there be any evil after this good?" He said, "Yes." I asked, "Will there be good after that evil?" He said, "Yes, but it will be tainted. It will be tainted with dakan, little evil." I asked, "What will its dakan be?" He said, "There will be some people who will lead people according to principles other than my tradition. You will see their actions and disapprove of them." I said, Will there be any evil after that good?" He said, "Yes, there will be some people who will invite others to the doors of hell, and whoever accepts their invitation to it will be thrown in it by them." I said, "O Allah's Messenger, describe those people to us." He said, "They will belong to us and speak our language." I asked, "What do you order me to do if such a thing should take place in my life?" He said, "Adhere to the group of Muslims and their chief." I asked, "If there is neither a group of Muslims nor a chief, what shall I do?" He said, "Keep away from all those different sects, even if you had to eat the root of a tree, till you meet Allah, while you are still in that state." Narrated Hudayfa. My companions learned something about good through asking the Prophet, while I learned something about evil. Narrated Abu Huraira. Allah's Messenger said, "The day of judgment will not be established till there is a war between two groups whose claims or religion will be the same." Narrated Abu Huraira. The Prophet said, "The hour will not be established till there is a war between two groups, among whom there will be a great number of casualties, though the claims or religion of both of them will be one and the same. And the hour will not be established till there appear about 30 liars, all of whom will be claiming to be the messengers of Allah." Narrated Abu Sa'id al-Khudri. While we were with Allah's Messenger, who was distributing yet some property, there came Dual Kuwaisira, a man from the tribe of Bani Tamim, and said, O Allah's Messenger, do justice. The Prophet said, Woe to you! Who could do justice if I did not? I will be a desperate loser if I did not do justice. Umar said, O Allah's Messenger, allow me to chop his head off. The Prophet said, Leave him, for he has companions who pray and fast in such a way that you will consider your fasting negligible in comparison to theirs. They recite Quran, but it does not go beyond their throats, yet they do not act on it, and they will desert Islam as an arrow goes through a victim's body, so that the hunter, on looking at the arrow's blade, would see nothing on it. He would look at its risaf and see nothing. He would look at its nadi and see nothing, and he would look at its kudhad one and see nothing, neither meat nor blood, for the arrow has been too fast even for the blood and excretions to smear. The sign by which they will be recognized is that among them there will be a black man, one of whose arms will resemble a woman's breast or a lump of meat moving loosely. Those people will appear when there will be differences amongst the people. I testify that I heard this narration from Allah's Messenger, and I testify that Ali bin Abi Talib fought with such people, and I was in his company. He ordered that the man described by the Prophet should be looked for. The man was brought, and I looked at him and noticed that he looked exactly as the Prophet had described him. Narrated Ali. I related the traditions of Allah's Messenger to you, for I will rather fall from the sky than attribute something to him falsely. But when I tell you a thing which is between you and me, then no doubt war is guile. I heard Allah's Messenger saying, In the last days of this world there will appear some young foolish people who will use in their claim the best speech of all people, yet the Quran, and they will abandon Islam as an arrow going through the game. Their belief will not go beyond their throats, yet they will have practically no belief. So wherever you meet them, kill them, for he who kills them shall get a reward on the day of resurrection. Narrated Khabab bin al-Arat. We complained to Allah's Messenger of the persecution inflicted on us by the infidels while he was sitting in the shade of the Kaaba, leaning over his burd, a covering sheet. We said to him, Would you seek help for us? Would you pray to Allah for us? He said, Among the nations before you, a believing man would be put in a ditch that was dug for him, and a saw would be put over his head, and he would be cut into 2 pieces. Yet that torture would not make him give up his religion. His body would be combed with iron combs that would remove his flesh from the bones and nerves. Yet that would not make him abandon his religion. By Allah, this religion, Islam, will prevail till a traveler from Sana in Yemen to Hadramaut will fear none but Allah, or a wolf as regards his sheep. But you people are hasty. Narrated Anas bin Malik. The Prophet noticed the absence of Thabit bin Qais. A man said, O Allah's Messenger, I shall bring you his news. So he went to him and saw him sitting in his house, drooping his head sadly. He asked Thabit, What's the matter? Thabit replied, An evil situation. A man used to raise his voice over the voice of the Prophet, and so all his good deeds have been annulled, and he is from the people of hell. the man went back and told the prophet that Thabit had said so and so. The sub-narrator Musa bin Anas said, the man went to Thabit again with glad tidings. The prophet said to him, go and say to Thabit, you are not from the people of fire, but from the people of paradise. Narrated Al-Bara bin Asib. A man recited Surat Al-Kahf in his prayer, and in the house there was a riding animal which got frightened and started jumping. The man finished his prayer with taslim, but behold, a mist or a cloud hovered over him. He informed the prophet of that, and the prophet said, O so and so, recite, for this mist or cloud was a sign of peace descending for the recitation of Quran. Narrated Al-Bara bin Asib. Abu Bakr came to my father, who was at home, and purchased a saddle from him. He said to Asib, tell your son to carry it with me. So I carried with him, and my father followed us so as to take the price of the saddle. My father said, O Abu Bakr, tell me what happened to you on your night journey with Allah's messenger during migration. He said, yes, we traveled the whole night and also the next day till midday, when nobody could be seen on the way because of the severe heat. Then there appeared a long rock having shade beneath it, and the sunshine had not come to it yet. So we dismounted there, and I leveled a place and covered it with an animal hide or dry grass for the prophet to sleep on for a while. I then said, sleep, O Allah's messenger, and I will guard you. So he slept, and I went out to guard him. Suddenly I saw a shepherd coming with his sheep to that rock, with the same intention we had when we came to it. I asked him, to whom do you belong, O boy? He replied, I belong to a man from Medina or Mecca. I said, do your sheep have milk? He said, yes. I said, will you milk for us? He said, yes. He caught hold of a sheep, and I asked him to clean its teeth from dust, hairs and dirt. The sub-narrator said that he saw Al-Bara striking one of his hands with the other, demonstrating how the shepherd removed the dust. The shepherd milked a little milk in a wooden container, and I had a leather container, which I carried for the prophet to drink and perform the ablution from. I went to the prophet, hating to wake him up, but when I reached there, the prophet had already awakened, so I poured water over the middle part of the milk container till the milk was cold. Then I said, drink, O Allah's messenger. He drank till I was pleased. Then he asked, has the time for our departure come? I said, yes. So we departed after midday. Suraka bin Malik followed us and I said, we have been discovered, O Allah's messenger. He said, don't grieve, for Allah is with us. The prophet invoked evil on him, Suraka, and so the legs of his horse sank into the earth up to its belly. The sub-narrator Sahih is not sure whether Abu Bakr said it sank into solid earth. Suraka said, I see that you have invoked evil on me. Please invoke good on me, and by Allah, I will cause those who are seeking after you to return. The prophet invoked good on him, and he was saved. Then whenever he met somebody on the way, he would say, I have looked for him here in vain. So he caused whomever he met to return. Thus Suraka fulfilled his promise. Narrated Ibn Abbas. The Prophet paid a visit to a sick Bedouin. The Prophet, when visiting a patient, used to say, no harm will befall you. May Allah cure you. May Allah cure you. So the Prophet said to the Bedouin, no harm will befall you. May Allah cure you. The Bedouin said, you say, may Allah cure me. No, for it is a fever which boils in the body of an old man and will lead him to the grave. The Prophet said, yes, then may it be as you say. Narrated Anas. There was a Christian who embraced Islam and read Surat al-Baqarah and al-Imran, and he used to write the revelations for the Prophet. Later on, he returned to Christianity again, and he used to say, "Muhammad knows nothing but what I have written for him." Then Allah caused him to die, and the people buried him. But in the morning they saw that the earth had thrown his body out. They said, "This is the act of Muhammad and his companions." They dug the grave of our companion and took his body out of it, because he had run away from them. They again dug the grave deeply for him, but in the morning they again saw that the earth had thrown his body out. They said, "This is an act of Muhammad and his companions." They dug the grave of our companion and threw his body outside it, for he had run away from them. They dug the grave for him as deep as they could, but in the morning they again saw that the earth had thrown his body out, so they believed that what had befallen him was not done by human beings, and had to leave him thrown on the ground. Narrated Abu Huraira. Allah's Messenger said, "When Khosrau perishes, there will be no more Khosrau after him, and when Caesar perishes, there will be no more Caesar after him. By him in whose hands Muhammad's life is, you will spend the treasures of both of them in Allah's cause." Narrated Jabir bin Samura. The Prophet said, "When Khosrau perishes, there will be no more Khosrau after him, and when Caesar perishes, there will be no more Caesar after him." The Prophet also said, "You will spend the treasures of both of them in Allah's cause." Narrated Ibn Abbas. Musaylama al-Kadhab, the liar, came in the lifetime of Allah's Messenger with many of his people to Medina and said, "If Muhammad makes me his successor, I will follow him." Allah's Messenger went up to him with Thabit bin Qais bin Shams, and Allah's Messenger was carrying a piece of a date palm leaf in his hand. He stood before Musaylama and his companions and said, "If you asked me even this piece of a leaf, I will not give it to you. You cannot avoid the fate you are destined to by Allah. If you reject Islam, Allah will destroy you. I think that you are most probably the same person whom I have seen in the dream." Abu Huraira told me that Allah's Messenger said, "While I was sleeping, I saw in a dream 2 gold bracelets round my arm, and that worried me too much. Then I was instructed divinely in my dream to blow them off. And so I blew them off, and they flew away. I interpreted the 2 bracelets as symbols of 2 liars who would appear after me. And so one of them was Al-Ansi, and the other was Musaylama al-Kadhab from Al-Yamama." Narrated Abu Musa. The Prophet said, "In a dream I saw myself migrating from Mecca to a place having plenty of date trees. I thought that it was Al-Yamama or Hajar, but it came to be Medina, Yathrib. In the same dream I saw myself moving a sword, and its blade got broken. It came to symbolize the defeat which the Muslims suffered from on the day of Uhud. I moved the sword again, and it became normal as before, and that was a symbol of the victory Allah bestowed upon the Muslims and their gathering together. I saw cows in my dream, and by Allah, that was a blessing, and they symbolized the believers on the day of Uhud, and the blessing was the good Allah bestowed upon us, and the reward of true belief which Allah gave us after the day of Badr." Narrated Aisha. Once Fatima came walking, and her gait resembled the gait of the Prophet. The Prophet said, "Welcome, O my daughter." Then he made her sit on his right or on his left side, and then he told her a secret, and she started weeping. I asked her, "Why are you weeping?" He again told her a secret, and she started laughing. I said, I never saw happiness so near to sadness as I saw today. I asked her what the Prophet had told her. She said, "I will never disclose the secret of Allah's Messenger. When the Prophet died, I asked her about it. She replied, the Prophet said, every year Gabriel used to revise the Quran with me once only, but this year he has done so twice. I think this portends my death, and you will be the first of my family to follow me." So I started weeping. Then he said, "Don't you like to be the chief of all the ladies of paradise, or the chief of the believing woman?" So I laughed for that. Narrated Aisha. The Prophet in his fatal illness called his daughter Fatima and told her a secret, because of which she started weeping. Then he called her and told her another secret, and she started laughing. When I asked her about that, she replied, "The Prophet told me that he will die in his fatal illness, and so I wept. But then he secretly told me that from amongst his family I will be the first to join him, and so I laughed." Narrated Sa'id bin Jubair. About Ibn Abbas. Umar bin al-Khattab used to treat Ibn Abbas very favorably. Abdurrahman bin Ayub said to him, "We also have sons that are equal to him, but you are partial to him." Umar said, "It is because of his knowledge." Then Umar asked Ibn Abbas about the interpretation of the verse, When come the help of Allah and the conquest of Mecca, 110:1. Ibn Abbas said, "It portended the death of Allah's Messenger, which Allah had informed him of." Umar said, "I do not know from this verse, but what do you know?" Narrated Ibn Abbas. Allah's Messenger in his fatal illness came out, wrapped with a sheet, and his head was wrapped with an oiled bandage. He sat on the pulpit and praising and glorifying Allah. He said, "Now then, people will increase, but the Ansar will decrease in number, so much so that they, compared with the people, will be just like the salt in the meals. So if any of you should take over the authority by which he can either benefit some people or harm some others, he should accept the goodness of their good people, ye Ansar, and excuse the faults of their wrongdoers." That was the last gathering which the Prophet attended. Narrated Abu Bakr. Once the Prophet brought out Al-Hassan and took him up the pulpit along with him and said, "This son of mine is a Sayyid, a chief, and I hope that Allah will help him bring about reconciliation between two Muslim groups." Narrated Anas bin Malik. The Prophet had informed us of the death of Jafar and Zayd before the news of their death reached us, and his eyes were shedding tears. Narrated Jabir. Once the Prophet said, "Have you got carpets?" I replied, "Whence can we get carpets?" He said, "But you shall soon have carpets." I used to say to my wife, "Remove your carpets from my sight," but she would say, "Didn't the Prophet tell you that you would soon have carpets?" So I would give up my request. Narrated Abdullah bin Masud. Sa'd bin Mu'ad came to Mecca with the intention of performing Umrah and stayed at the house of Umayyah bin Khalaf Abi Safwan. For Umayyah himself used to stay at Sa'd's house when he passed by Medina on his way to Sham. Umayyah said to Sa'd, "Will you wait till midday when the people are at their homes? Then you may go and perform the tawaf round the Kaaba." So while Sa'd was going round the Kaaba, Abu Jahl came and asked, "Who is that who is performing tawaf?" Sa'd replied, "I am Sa'd." Abu Jahl said, "Are you circumambulating the Kaaba safely, although you have given refuge to Muhammad and his companions?" Sa'd said, "Yes," and they started quarreling. Umayyah said to Sa'd, "Don't shout at Abu al-Hakam, Abu Jahl, for he is chief of the valley of Mecca." Sa'd then said to Abu Jahl, "By Allah, if you prevent me from performing the tawaf of the Kaaba, I will spoil your trade with Sham." Umayyah kept on saying to Sa'd, "Don't raise your voice," and kept on taking hold of him. Sa'd became furious and said to Umayyah, "Be away from me, for I have heard Muhammad saying that he will kill you." Umayyah said, "Will he kill me?" Sa'd said, "Yes." Umayyah said, "By Allah, when Muhammad says a thing, he never tells a lie." Umayyah went to his wife and said to her, "Do you know what my brother from Yathrib in Medina have said to me?" She said, "What has he said?" He said, "He claims that he has heard Muhammad claiming that he will kill me." She said, "By Allah, Muhammad never tells a lie." So when the infidels started to proceed for Badr battle and declared war against the Muslims, his wife said to him, "Don't you remember what your brother from Yathrib told you?" Umayyah decided not to go, but Abu Jahl said to him, "You are from the nobles of the valley of Mecca, so you should accompany us for a day or two." He went with them, and thus Allah got him killed. Narrated Abu Uthman. I got the news that Gabriel came to the Prophet. While Salama was present, Gabriel started talking to the Prophet and then left. The Prophet said to Salama, "Do you know who it was?" Or a similar question. She said, "It was Dihya, a handsome person amongst the companions of the Prophet." Later on, Salama said, "By Allah, I thought he was none but Dihya, till I heard the Prophet talking about Gabriel in his sermon." The sub-narrator asked Abu Uthman, "From where have you heard this narration?" He replied, "From Usama bin Zayd." Narrated Abdullah. Allah's Messenger said, "I saw in a dream the people assembled in a gathering, and then Abu Bakr got up and drew 1 or 2 buckets of water from a well. But there was weakness in his drawing. May Allah forgive him. Then Umar took the bucket, and in his hands it turned into a very large bucket. I had never seen anyone amongst the people who could draw the water as strongly as Umar, till all the people drank their fill and watered their camels that knelt down there." Chapter 26. The statement of Allah Ta'ala. Those to whom we gave the scriptures, Jews and Christians, recognize him Muhammad sauce as they recognize their own sons. Narrated Abdullah bin Umar. The Jews came to Allah's Messenger and told him that a man and a woman from amongst them had committed illegal sexual intercourse. Allah's Messenger said to them, "What do you find in the Torah, Old Testament, about the legal punishment of ar-rajm, stoning?" They replied, "But we announced their crime and lashed them." Abdullah bin Salam said, "You are telling a lie. Torah contains the order of rajm." They brought and opened the Torah, and one of them solaced his hand on the verse of Rajm and read the verses preceding and following it. Abdullah bin Salam said to him, "Lift your hand." When he lifted his hand, the verse of Rajm was written there. They said, "Muhammad has told the truth. The Torah was the verse of Rajm." The Prophet then gave the order that both of them should be stoned to death. Abdullah bin Umar said, "I saw the man leaning over the woman to shelter her from the stones." Chapter 27. The miracle of the splitting of the moon. Narrated Abdullah bin Masud. During the lifetime of the Prophet, the moon was split into 2 parts, and on that the Prophet said, "Bear witness to this." Narrated Anas, that the Meccan people requested Allah's Messenger to show them a miracle, and so he showed them the splitting of the moon. Narrated Ibn Abbas, the moon was split into 2 parts during the lifetime of the Prophet. Chapter 28. Narrated Anas. Once 2 men from the companions of Allah's Messenger went out of the house of the Prophet on a very dark night. They were accompanied by 2 things that resembled 2 lamps lighting the way in front of them, and when they parted, each of them was accompanied by one of those two things, lamps, till they reached their homes. Narrated Al-Mughira bin Shuba. The Prophet said, some of my followers will remain victorious and on the right path till the last day comes, and they will still be victorious. Narrated Muawiyah. I heard the Prophet saying, a group of people amongst my followers will remain obedient to Allah's orders, and they will not be harmed by anyone who will not help them or who will oppose them, till Allah's order, the last day, comes upon them while they are still on the right path. Narrated Urwa, that the Prophet gave him 1 dinar so as to buy a sheep for him. Urwa bought 2 sheep for him with the money. Then he sold one of the sheep for 1 dinar and brought 1 dinar and a sheep to the Prophet. On that the Prophet invoked Allah to bless him in his deals, so Urwa used to gain from any deal, even if he bought dust. In another narration, Urwa said, I heard Allah's messenger saying, there is always goodness in horses till the day of resurrection. The sub-narrator added, I saw 70 horses in Urwa's house. Sufyan said, the Prophet asked Urwa to buy a sheep for him as a sacrifice. Narrated Ibn Umar. Allah's messenger said, there is always goodness in horses till the day of resurrection. Narrated Anas. The Prophet said, there is always goodness in horses. Narrated Abu Huraira. The Prophet said, a horse may be kept for one of 3 purposes. For a man it may be a source of reward, for another it may be a means of living, and for a third it may be a burden, a source of committing sins. As for the one for whom it is a source of reward, he is the one who keeps his horse for the sake of jihad in Allah's cause. He ties it with a long rope on a pasture or in a garden, so whatever its rope allows it to eat will be regarded as good rewardable deeds for its owner, and if it breaks off its rope and jumps over 1 or 2 hillocks, even its dung will be considered amongst his good deeds. And if it passes by a river and drinks water from it, that will be considered as good deeds for his benefit, even if he has had no intention of watering it. A horse is a shelter for the one who keeps it, so that he may earn his living honestly, and takes it as a refugee to keep him from following illegal ways of gaining money, and does not forget the rights of Allah, yet paying the zakat and allowing others to use it for Allah's sake. But a horse is a burden and a source of committing sins for him who keeps it out of pride and pretense, and with the intention of harming the Muslims. The Prophet was asked about donkeys. He replied, nothing has been revealed to be concerning them except this comprehensive verse which covers everything. Then whosoever has done good equal to the weight of an atom or a small ant shall see its reward, and whosoever has done evil equal to the weight of an atom or a small ant shall see its punishment. 99, 7-8. Narrated Anas bin Malik. Allah's messenger reached Khaybar in the early morning, and the people of Khaybar came out with their spades, and when they saw the Prophet, they said, Muhammad and his army, and returned hurriedly to take refuge in the fort. The Prophet raised his hands and said, Allah is greater, Khaybar is ruined. If we approach a nation, then miserable is the mourning of those who are warned. Narrated Abu Huraira. I said, O Allah's messenger, I hear many narrations from you, but I forget them. He said, spread your covering sheet. I spread my sheet, and he moved both his hands, as if scooping something, and emptied them in the sheet, and said, wrap it. I wrapped it round my body, and since then I have never forgotten.